Well, the Topeka Police Department was the very first police agency that I ever worked for right out of college in 1994. All 28 years that I've been a law enforcement officer have been here at the Topeka Police Department. I started out, as everyone does, in the police academy and then out on the street. I did 10 years as a responding officer to police calls for service, and then I did 2 years working undercover narcotics and as a narcotics investigator. I did 8 years as a detective, 6 as a robbery homicide. Got promoted to sergeant and ran the criminal intelligence unit for a couple years. And then, as I like to say, I went back home. I got promoted to lieutenant and was placed in charge of the homicide and special victims unit. I then got promoted to captain from lieutenant and was the executive officer to assist the chief at that time. And then Chief Cochran promoted me to deputy chief. I had a stint as the interim chief after Chief Cochran retired, and then I was recently selected at the beginning of this year to be the permanent chief of police. All here at the police department, all the way up through the ranks from the very beginning of the academy up to now chief of police. It was an amazing ride. I don't have a specific story. A lot of people have like a cool story where an event occurred or something like that that impacted them. As long as I can remember, since I was a little kid, I always wanted to do it. In my entire life, since I was a kid, that's where I went to school for, and that's where I ended up. And I've never regretted it. Almost 30 years, I look back now, and this is exactly where I'm supposed to be and doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, the Boys and Girls Club is a big one for me, and I was on the board of directors for a number of years, and it's an amazing organization, and it has been for a long time. And Dawn McWilliams is somebody that I very much admire, and her organization is a reflection of her. So I'm a big supporter of the Boys and Girls Club, and probably always will be. I still refer to it as my club, even though I'm not on the board currently. Over the last several years, I've gone into blood donation for the Red Cross. Donating blood is something that all of us can do. I always make sure that when those opportunities come up that I take advantage of those. I think this is a great place to raise a family. I think there are great schools. I think they have safe neighborhoods. The thing I like most about Topeka is just the good people we have here doing all the good things that we do. It's a super place to raise a family. The overarching goal is to leave the police department and the city better than I found it. I think everything starts from a safety and security standpoint, making sure our neighborhoods are safe, making sure that our schools are safe, making sure that our business districts and our churches and just our general overall community is safe. So I want that to be better than when I took it over. I think building the community trust, building community engagement is one of those things that I would like to be a lasting legacy as well. Also internally with the department, it's very important for me to build the future leaders of the agency to make sure that they're getting the training and the experience and that we're supporting all of the employees that we have from the lowest officer all the way up to the senior command staff, because they're about the future, and I care about this department and this city long after I retire, because I'm still going to be living here and I'm still going to be raising my family here. I would like to be remembered and respected as a chief that was a hard worker and who cared about people and who tried to really make a difference at a grassroots neighborhood level. I wouldn't change anything about the job I chose or the place that I serve. They should view the people at the police department as their neighbors, and because we live here and we raise our families here. I mean, this is far more than just a job to a great many of us who have chosen this profession to serve. In my 30 years, almost 30 years here, some of the greatest people that I've met in my life have worked here at this agency. And it's an agency that I'm very proud of, not only as the chief of police, but also as a citizen of this community.